record on this. No, it's all Joe Dispenza's entire stuff.
Sukumar did it, right? Sorry, I stepped out. Like I don't know. Sukumar did that.
Either
I have
Sukumar
it.
or
I have them.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe,
But it's
that's
taking
why.
like a lot of place. So I downloaded some and then tried to zip it out. So
Yeah, same thing. Only I downloaded some and then I stopped. So many files are there, and
yeah, so
especially
many. It's occupying a lot of space. Yeah.
most of them are take so much space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is looking for?
Okay, the throat or Vishuddha chakra. The throat chakra is located at the back of the neck, reaching up into the medulla oblongata to involve the carotid gland and downwards in the direction of the shoulder blades. It is a
What
powerful
is this
chakra.
carotid gland?
Carotid is one of the main arteries. Blood artery.
We can always.
Sir, it flow the blood up in the brain using carotid artery.
Main heart to brain, one of the carotid
Yeah,
artery.
it supply blood to the brain.
Yeah.
No, but that is artery, but he's talking about gland. Is it the same?
I think it is
Carotid
same.
gland. Gland is an organ.
I don't think so. Carotid artery.
It's positioning under the nearby ear.
Here he says carotid artery and parotid gland. Which one is right, which one is wrong, we don't know.
No, let us. I think it is a main artery.
Both right, sir. Both is right.
Carotid arteries are blood vessels that supply blood to your brain, face, and neck. You have two common carotid arteries, one on each side of the neck, left common and right common. Function. Your carotid arteries are an important part of your circulatory system. They send oxygen-rich blood to organs and tissues in your head and neck, including your brain. ठीक है चलो इतना काफी है ओके ठीक है yeah
okay so
and onwards in the direction of the shoulder blades. Okay.
Yeah.
It is a powerful chakra. And
it is a powerful
active in the human family. Okay.
Human family. It's being related directly to the higher creative faculties. It manifests as a thyroid gland with secondary expression as the parathyroid glands. These endocrine glands are essential to normal growth, the thyroid being related to oxidative processes and the parathyroid with calcium metabolism. If underactive, the throat chakra will cause a multitude of symptoms involving many tissues of the body. Okay. You want me to stop it?
No, you can continue.
Okay. Vertigo, allergies, anemia, fatigue, menstrual irregularities, sore throats, laryngitis, asthma, and other respiratory troubles may stem from an imbalance in this chakra. The damage resulting from sudden emotional shock will often initiate asthmatic states. This is understandable because the throat center governs the lungs, bronchial, and vocal apparatus. It also governs the entire alimentary canal. It is a center which is peculiarly responsive to radionic treatment, utilizing the color blue, especially in its deep clear shades.
Okay.
The
So
brow
go to the
or
next
Agnya.
one. Agnya chakra.
This center is located between the eyebrows, just above the eyes. It externalizes as the pituitary gland, which lies within the small cavity formed by the sella turcia of the sphenoid bone. The anterior and posterior lobes of the pituitary gland corresponds to the double multiple petals of the Agnya chakra. So like this. Yeah. Anterior and posterior lobes. That's what they say, two petals and pituitary gland, yeah, to the double multiple petals of the Agnya chakra. The ancient teachers considered the Agnya chakra to be the center of the integrated personality and attached great importance to its role of expressing the fully developed personality of the individual. Modern medicine recognizes the pituitary as the master of controlling gland of the endocrine system. It manages the activities of the thyroid, parathyroid, gonads, adrenals, and pancreas. It also manages gonads, adrenals, and pancreas. These glands are referred to as target glands, and whenever they are producing correct amount of hormone secretion, the pituitary is at rest and therefore controlled by secretions from the other glands. These glands are referred to as target glands, and whenever they are producing the correct amount of hormone secretion, pituitary is at rest and therefore controlled by secretions from the other glands. Whenever a target gland fails to produce its correct quota of hormones, the pituitary goes into action and secretes a tropic hormone, which, by way of the bloodstream, reaches the target glands and stimulates it into activity. If a gland is constantly underactive, then the pituitary has to work overtime to try to galvanize it into activity. This creates an imbalance in the Agnya chakra, making it overactive. So, in any case where the Agnya reads as overactive, always search to see if the cause lies in another chakra which is underactive. So, even if Agnya chakra is overactive, it relates to another chakra underactive. This center is often referred to as the third eye. However, this is just another inaccuracy that has crept into our knowledge of the chakras, a point that I will deal with in a later chapter. The Ajna expresses idealism, imagination, and desire and is rapidly becoming active in the masses of humanity. This chakra, when active, will exemplify itself in the typical hereditary pituitary type patient who is usually attractive and magnetic in nature, has many irons in the fire, and excels in business with an enthusiastic capacity for leadership. Overstimulation of this chakra can produce serious diseases of the brain and eyes, nose, it can produce the diseases of the brain, eyes, nose, and ears and nervous system, which are those areas of the body which are governed by Agnya. Sinus problems, catarrh, and hay fever can all be traced to Agnya imbalance. Hay fever also related to Agnya imbalance. Gigantism and acromegaly also arise from deep-seated aberrations of this chakra. I don't know what these are. Acromegaly.
Genetic secrets of acromegaly. Exploring the role of genetics in rare disorder. No, that is not what we are interested in. Gigantism is a very rare condition that helps when a child or adolescent has high levels of growth hormone in their body, which causes them to grow very tall. Okay. Gigantism is treatable, but early diagnosis is crucial to prevent excessive height and complications. What is the other one he said? Megale. Right?
Yeah, acromegaly the other way probably. They don't grow tall.
Everything is enlarged here. Acromegaly is also part and
Oh,
parcel of this only.
yeah. So it's basically
What
excess
is
growth hormone.
acromegaly? Acromegaly happens when the pituitary gland continuously and excessively produces growth hormone. Okay, ठीक है.
Yeah.
उतना काफी है हमको.
Okay. The crown or Sahasrara chakra. This chakra, crown chakra, as the name suggests, is located at the very top of the head and is said not to come into full functioning until a high degree of inner development has been reached. Its dense physical externalization is the pineal gland, which, when viewed from the esoteric point of view, is seen to remain active during infancy and until the will to be sufficiently anchors the child on the physical plane. It is interesting to note that Rudolf Steiner links this with the change of teeth at about the seventh year. Physiologists have little to offer regarding the pineal except that its structure suggests an endocrine function and that at the seventh year the human pineal undergoes an involutionary change and apparently ceases to function, thus providing us with a parallel to Steiner's observation. So at the around a seven, it becomes very small. It is interesting to note that Rudolf Steiner links this with the change of, we finished this. The Greek suggested that the pineal was the seat of the soul, which agrees with the ancient Indian esoteric tradition. Galen felt that it was connected with the regulation of thought. Recent experiments have shown that the pineal reacts to the stimulation from light, which ties in with the Descartes' suggestion that there was a pineal connection between visual perception and evoked muscular response. The pineal gland contains vestigial retinal tissue and is considered by modern physiologists to have the possible function of a third photoreceptor, which all points to the pineal as being the third eye rather than the Ajna center. So it has some vestigial retinal tissue, that is why. The crown chakra governs the upper brain and the right eye. Oh, it also controls the right eye. It is relatively inactive in the mass of humanity. Unfoldment of this center brings with its hypertension, certain forms of brain disease, nervous disorders, and various psychological problems. The crown center contains within it a replica of each chakra. Thus, it is a reflection of Brahman, the macroscopic principle, and at the same time, it contains within its periphery the pattern of total man. Average and advanced man works through all of his chakras, but the highly advanced initiates increasingly works through the counterparts in the crown chakra. Oh, what is this? But the highly advanced initiative increasingly works through the counterparts in the crown chakra. All his life focus being tuned into the ultimate reality of the macrocosm. His energies, so to speak, function only from the throne of consciousness, and from this seat, the inner man has access to the universe of cells, chakras, and subtle vehicles in order to express soul consciousness on the lower planes. One may Liken the crown chakra to a master control panel, which processes information flowing in from the external environmental fields and outward from the inner spiritual realms. In modern terms, it is the data processing computer utilized by the initiate to relay cosmic principles of truth to the lower planes of existence, analyzing their effects and relaying this information back to the soul, which has its seat in the crown chakra. So it is a mediator. It transfers information from outside to inside physical. Full development of this chakra creates a vast aura of light, the beauty and magnitude of which eclipses every other chakra and indicates the blossoming of perfected man, a god incarnate. The impulse towards physical incarnation ceases to exist and the individual evolves from the human kingdom into spiritual kingdom. John speaks of this in the Revelation when he says he goes out no more.
He
I don't know,
goeth out
GOE.
no more. He goeth
He
out no more.
goeth out no more. That means he's full. I mean, he's a
That means he has become an enlightened soul.
correct, fully enlightened. The
Yeah.
ancient seers long ago recognized the importance of the pineal and thymus glands as externalizations of the crown and heart chakras. They taught that the life principle was anchored in the heart by a thread of energy and that the conscious principle was anchored in the pineal center in a similar manner. This cord of energies links the physical bodies to the subtle mechanisms. The thread linked to the head is disconnected when we sleep and physical consciousness leaves us. Thus, man enacts on a minor scale the process of life and death. Oh, the thread, that is the silver thread. The thread linked to the head is
No. He
different. The
says the
thread,
connection between the bodies. You need to
yeah,
visualize it as the connection between the physical body and the subtle bodies. Not as your
yeah,
the silver cord, because this silver cord, the moment it is disconnected, you are gone from this physical world. You will not be able to come back.
correct.
Yeah,
It's astral. Only it happens in astral travel. Yeah.
correct.
So the thread linked to the head is disconnected when we sleep and physical consciousness leaves us. Thus, man enacts on a minor scale the process of life and death. The consciousness thread is temporarily severed during epileptic seizures and other forms of a point that the radionic practitioner should keep in mind when handling such cases. As long as the thread of life energy remains anchored in the heart chakra, the physical body will function. Coma occurs from a severe disruption of the consciousness thread. Death results from the severing of the life thread. The Bible speaks of these combined energies as a silver cord, which is loosened at death. Okay, which is loosed at death, thus freeing the inner man from the confines of the physical body. But it is similar to that. He says,
It is
silver
similar.
cord. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a chakra as a chakra becomes active, so its secretions and their effects can be observed. It is interesting that endocrinologists are at last grudgingly admitting that the pineal and the thymus have an endocrine function, thus indicating that these chakras are becoming more active in the mass of humanity. We can expect to hear much more about them in the future, especially the pineal's relationship to light, for as the light of the soul begins to pour through this chakra. So, will new discoveries be made, discoveries with far-reaching implications for man and all kingdoms in nature. Just as 7 major chakras are to be found in the etheric body, they are also seen in the astral and mental bodies, with the exception of the head centers, the throat and the heart, which appear to be contained within the lotus of the soul upon the higher mental plane. What is this? with the exception of the head centers, the throat and the heart, which appear to be contained within the lotus of the soul upon the higher mental plane. So without the
This is
head
the
center,
cause. See, basically visualize it as your Annamaya Kosha, the physical body, the etheric body,
yeah,
the astral body, the lower mental body, the lower manas, and the higher manas, which is the causal body, and then
yeah.
the Nirvanamaya bliss body, and so on. Okay,
Okay.
now read this sentence. Just as the
Just
major
as,
chakras are to be found in the etheric body, they are also seen in the astral and mental bodies, with the exception of the head center. Head center is not found there, the Sahasrara. Okay. Now what is he saying? The throat and the heart, which appear to be contained within the lotus of the soul, upon the higher mental plane, that means the causal body. These are connected to the causal body. Okay. Right? A man as a
yeah,
multi-concentric halo system. This concept at once, both ancient and modern, can be illustrated in the following manner. What is that? Let's read.
okay. While a vast difference there is a there is while a vast difference there
So
is between this.
what a vast difference there
Oh, sorry.
is.
I don't know why. What a vast difference there is between this anatomical chart and the orthodox text we habitually use for an ordinary radionic practice. It expresses the concept of man and as a series of energy fields, not a complicated mass of cellular structures. So basically, he's saying these are the energy fields, not the mass of cellular structures. It shows clearly the relationships of each force field and its chakras, and above all, it is simple and practical. Simplicity and effectiveness should be the guide to every practitioner's approach to radionics, and this can never become a reality as long as we are dealing with man from the physical to the subtle. It is essential to think of man first as a series of force field systems, and that pathology begins there before appearing in the physical body. So these are four force field systems that are yeah,
Yeah.
before it appears in the physical body. It is not enough to talk of the etheric heart or the etheric lungs. This is still thinking in a physical terms. What the practitioner must do is to recognize that the chakras are the source of power that determines the physical, mental, and emotional makeup of the individual, and as such, they are the key to his health and well being. So these three they should consider physical, mental, emotional. To ignore this fact is to use a fragmentary approach to radionics, and our one aim is to treat the total man. This can only be done in the light of an understanding of the chakras and their relationship to all the bodies, dense or subtle. So where did he mention how to treat, I mean, how they use this radionic treatment?
Yeah, he is doing that further.
Okay.
That is why I picked
Man,
up this book.
yeah, because he talks about this process. Okay.
So
Oh,
what
yeah.
we need to understand is, that is why, right, I was
Uh,
looking at the, right, that is why I was looking at this, the etheric formulative force in terms of our psychic anatomy, psychic energy. That is the source from which I came here, right? So I was just trying to put the notes that we can use going forward. So what is he saying? If you take the aura, the meridian, the hara, and the core star, right? So what is this? PE is the psychic energy. What is psychic energy? Prana or chi energy, right?
yeah,
And how
yeah.
are we to understand? The psychic energy that our attention attracts the psychic energy associated with what we are giving attention to. Okay. Now, psychic plane is your emotional plane. Correct. So, giving attention to experiences of love and acceptance, we attract the healthy psychic associated with them. But the same thing when you replace it with hate, right? Fear or jealousy, what are you doing? We attract the unhealthy environments associated with them. Okay. Now, when we are doing that, right? So, how is that? Now, this one may not be very clear. So, how they, because everything then has a physical connotation, right? The atoms, energy, and all that, that is becoming the physical in the cyclic mode, right? Consists of, what is this physical anatomy? It is consisting of 4 parts: the aura, the meridians, the hara, and the core star. Okay. And as we focus our attention, we direct and empower the psychic energy field. Are you able to link what I am trying to say? Right. So now what is happening? We should be able to visualize the image of our physical, the psychic anatomy, and develop a basic understanding of how they work, right? The approach to visualization. This is nothing but our approach to visualization. Okay. Now, focus of our attention, by virtue of, as we focus our attention, we direct and empower the psychic energy. So, we try focusing healthy P upon our PA. PA is the psychic anatomy.
Physical anatomy.
No, psychic. Before it is physical anatomy, you create the psychic anatomy.
Yeah, correct.
That is what he is meaning by your etheric lungs, etheric heart, and so on.
Correct. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And specific part of it. Okay. Being able to sense and read another person's emotion of the mind, etc. That is how you develop the ESP. Okay. So now what are you doing? Pardon?
Can we go back and see how? Can we go back and see how we develop the ESP?
No, we can. That's in another book actually.
Oh, okay.
See, what is your ESP? It emanates from the psychic anatomy, sensing the psychic energies is PE.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Around and within us, which it is spread both. It is around us, it is within us. Right? Triggers emotions and thoughts. If you want to increasing this ESP, how are you going to increase it? You need to remember through meditation, right? Focus on breath. This breath, when it comes to a stable state, you can start the visualization. Okay. So breath in, breathe in with the intent of breathing in the psychic environment associated with these feelings. What feelings? The positive feelings. Okay. Now you are creating those energies that you are drawing, you are visualizing. Now when you visualize, what are you doing? You are creating an intent, you are creating the sankalpa. Correct? Now as you do that, you have your current scenario, you have your desired scenario, you have a pathway and milestones. You will break it down. Your intent, you will break it down into these components. Okay. Now, when you come to visualization, the visualization of the PE going into any part of you. In the visualization, you practice that. Focus them into every cell. Why? For, right? So remember, what you give your attention to attracts the corresponding environment. We saw it in the previous slide. Correct? So associated PU and empowers them within you. Because your PE is in both inside and outside. We saw that. Okay.
Correct.
Now, if you are doing it for healing, strengthening, enduring, empowering, enlightening, or for an emotional state, love or joy and bliss, that's it. That is what you are going to do. This is how you are going to increase the ESP, because ESP is coming from that. Right? So, it is the same thing. I mean, I had converted and pasted it as a picture there. Right? Now, our breath is merely the vehicle through which the life force manifests out here in the physical world. Are you getting it? So your prana, apana, udana, samana, vyayana, how they are working in the respective region. Right? This life energy is called by these names. If it is Christianity, it is here. Breath of life is Hebrew. Right? If you are looking at in the TCM, that is the Chinese medicine, it is chi energy or it is prana. These are likened to our existence, and it controls every mental and physical process that takes place within this being. So this breath is controlling everything.
Is this linked or liked?
It is linked.
Linked.
I made a mistake there. I'll correct it. Right? Okay. Now, breath of life. What is that? Is the spiritual energy that gives our breath its life-sustaining powers. Our breath. What are the threats? Why is it doing this? Okay. You can tell here अभी बंद कर. बहुत हो गया. Yes. This is not the time. Okay. So our breath carries the life force, much like a car carries its driver. People never confuse a car with its driver, but even those who have studied the power of the breath tend to confuse the physical breath with the life force. It is not the physical breath. People need to understand that. Right? So the spiritual life force is a ray of pure divine consciousness that emanates directly from the Godhead, or it is the formless dimension of reality that is the source of all creation. So now by this, where are you getting the form from? You are creating the form through the psychic environment, converting it to the psychic anatomy. The moment the psychic anatomy has been formed, that is the form world. From there, it is going to manifest on this
physical world.
Correct. Right? So this is what I was putting together. Basically, how it works. All that.
Yeah.
It is not yet complete because I am reading now on the breath. Found a nice book. I am reading the breath currently. So this is how it will work. So now, if you are able to visualize your human body, right, in all these, right?
Yeah.
So see, PPA is your physical permanent atom. APA is your astral permanent atom. MPA is your mental permanent atom. Why? Because if I break down the atom into the subparticles, the same thing is existing in subtler form in all the four planes. Okay? And how they are creating the crown, the agya, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral, the base, the spleen. All these are getting created here. They are there in the physical environment, astral environment, mental environment, and the right. This is the
So basically, him, it is not only only energy body. All these are chakras are in every
exactly yes.
yeah.
You got it right. So now he is
Yeah.
talking about vitality and the dynamics of pranic reception.
Okay. Vitality and the dynamics of pranic reception. By a comprehension of the laws of vitality, and in this phrase are comprehended the laws governing prana, radiation, and magnetism. They will come the healing of the disease in the blood, of the arteries and veins, of certain nervous complaints, lack of vitality, senile decay, poor circulation, and similar ills. Esoteric
Hmm.
healing and Bailey. In this
I
chapter,
have a number of books by Alice Bailey. They are all the lost wisdom, part of the lost wisdom in the universe.
okay, yeah. In this chapter, I am going to deal with the very important topic of vitality. One of the most frequent complaints we hear from patients is that they are chronically tired. Clinical evidence suggests that providing patients live sensibly, radionic treatment can do much to improve their vitality, thus enhancing their ability to throw off disease. Vitality is closely linked to the correct functioning of the spleen chakra, so it is necessary in any diagnosis of the chakras to determine the condition of this center. Prana or vital force is distributed from the spleen chakra to all of the other major chakras, and from there sent to the organic system of the physical body.
For a
Prana is
moment,
essential.
let us, instead of his understanding, let's also try to see.
So according to him, from spleen, it is distributing to all other chakras, the energy.
Correct. So that is the sacral chakra, Swadhisthana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spleen chakra, also known as the sacral chakra. Okay.
Correct.
So basically calling it, sacral
Same in
chakra. Yeah.
Swadhisthana.
Second of the 7 major chakras.
And that is also the center of creativity. You should forget that Swadhisthana is also part of the creativity.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So let's continue.
Prana is a Sanskrit term which broadly translated means life energy. It is the life essence which works through the 4 ethers and manifests in the activity of matter. Without prana, there would be no physical manifestation. This form of energy is responsible for maintaining the integrity of the physical etheric vehicle. Its presence in correct proportions is essential to health, and it is for this reason that the radionic practitioner must give it careful consideration. There are various types of prana, but our main concern is with that form of prana which emanates from the sun. Solar prana radiates through our entire solar system and is assimilated by all forms, be they planetary, human, animal, or vegetable. Each form absorbs this prana, circulates it, and keeps what is required to maintain its integrity. The excess, now saturated with the distinctive qualities of the form it has passed through, is discharged back into etheric force field of the earth to be utilized by the other forms of life. So the excess energy, the excess now saturated with the distinctive qualities of the form it has passed through is discharged back into the etheric force field of the earth to be utilized in the other forms of life. So
now here, see, no. Now, if you go back to our thinking and destiny, he is talking about how the light emanating from the noetic plane passes through various stages and goes into nature. Now, reread that with this para that we just completed.
Yeah. Each form absorbs this prana, circulates it, and keeps what is required to maintain its integrity. The excess, now saturated with the distinctive qualities of the form it has passed through, is discharged back into the etheric force field of the earth to be utilized by other forms of life. Yes, that is the nature. It is
And
going back
in
into
our Seth Nature of Personal Reality first chapter, he says, what you breathe out, what you throw out, what you experience out forms your nature of the reality. You create your reality thereby.
yeah.
So here he's mentioned about four ethers. Or is he talking about the fire, water, and those things? Or?
Exactly, yes.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure.
No, see, here the linkage is everything is with respect to the solar system.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
if you really want to understand this in depth, we started reading another book, if you remember, right? In between, which was the map of the soul.
Map of the soul?
Yeah, you're forgetting this one.
Map to your soul, yeah.
See, all these pages we had finished reading, no?
I don't think I attended this. So
See,
maybe this was
using
in
the
the past.
astrology of fire, earth, air, water, and then he also talks about use your planets effectively.
Correct. Yes, I remember.
Okay.
Now, we are doing everything which is coming into the dream sequence of our collective consciousness, and we are being directed. No one has heard of all these books, including me. There is some
So
force
here,
throwing that book. Yeah.
yeah, in this book, he talks about how the cosmology up there is connected into our body.
Exactly. Right. He talks about what are you. This is more like a workbook and all that. Yeah, these are all the exercises we are supposed to do, how it impacts us and all that.
See, basically, in this book, depending upon the qualities, the personality, so we come up and we can decide, what
Our astrological combination,
yeah,
we can read it from the planets and all that, how it impacts, how the solar system has evolved. All those are part of these books.
correct.
Sorry, where are we? Yeah, let's continue.
Okay. To these individual qualified pranic emanations are given the names planetary prana, human prana, and so forth. In the etheric field of the solar system, there is a continual exchange of pranic currents between the various planets. On the microcosmic level, the human etheric vehicle assimilates a mixture of solar and planetary prana and then discharges the qualified excess back into the etheric body of the earth to mix with the prana found therein. The plant and animal kingdom functions in a similar manner so that a vast interchange of energies can be seen to go on using the etheric web as a medium for transmission. So the
Okay,
same, see, that's what.
now keep this in mind and think about a full moon and a what do you call the full moon and new moon scenarios.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, right? Think about the behavior pattern of a mentally disturbed person, how his emotions reflect on a high tide day, which is a full moon day?
Because of more energies.
No, that is in the etheric part. Etheric is related to your lower astral also, correct? It has all, the form has already been created. The environment that has become your psychic environment. That is what you are going to draw. But if you don't have the ability to withstand that kind of vibration, you will throw it out. Otherwise, you will absorb and digest.
Oh, I see. So if people are not able to absorb it, it will, yeah,
It will flow,
they will,
right? It is energy.
correct.
What is this message? Oh, namaste. Okay. Right. So you are able to so far follow the entire discussion, right?
So
Is
he's
everyone
saying,
able to follow what we are discussing?
I want other people to answer. So he's saying that there is all the time there is exchange between planetary, solar,
Always.
planetary.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in some other book, I remember, Joe Dispenza says that you are exchanging information with the universe every 7 seconds. Now,
Every
7
7 seconds.
seconds is your breathe in, breathe out cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Okay.
moment, see, the moment we take in breath, we are assimilating, outside
Correct.
energy. Yes.
Right? So these are all interrelated. Yeah.
Correct.
Now
So,
he is
sir,
talking about,
sir, on the new moon, we absorb less energy. Am I right?
my understanding has been whether it is new moon or whether it is full moon. What
We
is
absorb
new
more energy.
moon? Both days will have, one will be the solar energy, the other one will be the reflected solar energy, which is the lunar energy.
Oh,
That
okay.
is the only difference.
Mhm.
Correct. Who has dropped off?
But I think the difference between the new moon and full moon is the vitality and the pranic energy. Because in the
No,
full moon day, the plants gets the pranic energy. They get more healing powers within them. Whereas in the new day,
both days are like that. See, because it depends upon whether you are following the lunar cycle or the solar cycle. The impact on you will be depending upon which cycle in your planetary positioning is stronger.
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, it is the human prana which manifests as the health aura. When being discharged, this blends with the pranic excess radiation, and when being discharged, this blends with the pranic excess radiating from the atoms of the dense physical body, and produces an area of the radiation that is commonly mistaken for the etheric body. That is the aura. Is he talking about
Yeah.
the health of the etheric body?
If you really talk about the aura and all, right? This is what I was trying to draw, right? That okay. So if you take this, right?
Mm,
Right?
mm,
Okay. So you see, these are all the components of the aura segregated. These are all parts of the segregated aura, right?
yeah.
What is your aura? It is the unified chakra that is coming out of your lower chakras, your anahata chakra, your higher chakras. Each of them
So
are contributing to a pattern based on their respective vibrations. Correct? What is that creating? That is getting overloaded by your beliefs, your thought thoughts, feelings, etc. You are creating a modified environment of your karmic lesson. Okay. What is that going? That is going through this process of the cyclic pattern along with the conflicts which are coming from your thoughts and feelings, and they are ending up creating your individual components in the body. Right? Now, everyone, the only diagram I have not put here is your subtle bodies. But this is your etheric pattern, this particular thing put together. This is your etheric and astral, right?
Yeah.
You're able to relate that, right? Okay. Right? So now when you come to the specific heart and all that chakra, how it will behave, etc. This is what is the visualization I was able to create. Okay. So now let us, so now what is he saying? It is the human prana, which, so that component is creating the health aura. Now health aura is equal to a portion of your mental, astral, physical, the noetic, all those planes and the environments of that pertaining to your thought patterns is the health aura, correct? When being discharged, this blends with the pranic excesses radiating from the atoms of the dense physical body. Every part of your four core systems in the body, they are radiating. As you breathe in, breathe out, they are radiating their effective energies.
Yes.
So when you are radiating those effective energies and produces an area of radiation that is commonly mistaken for the etheric body. It is not the etheric body. It is those patterns as an energy package, which is nothing but your health aura.
Yeah.
Got it? Yeah, Dineshji, any question?
No, sir.
Okay, take it. Right. So
The health of the body. Okay. The health of the etheric body and hence the dense physical depends upon prana, and the healing arts are moving towards a recognition of this fact. For example, it is now understood that sunlight plays an important part in the building up and maintaining of health.
Okay,
By virtue
now
of
just
this,
hold here. No, just hold here.
yeah.
Think about the circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay, every part of your body has got a timeline cycle.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
I
Now,
remember.
the diagram is there.
Yeah.
Right. So now, if you link it with this, okay, go ahead. By virtue of this, now, what is it linked to? When you're looking at your circadian part working, the circadian rhythm or the circadian anatomy of the human body, everything has got a time.
Yes.
Correct. Now, what is the clock that it is triggered by? It is the solar system, which in other words is your sunlight, which is what is triggering your melatonin and serotonin.
Yeah.
Yeah, continue.
By virtue of this fact, sanatoria are often placed in the countryside, close to the sea, or on mountain slopes where the air is clear and heavily charged with the life-giving prana. In such conditions, patients are able to rebuild their depleted system far more rapidly than in the contaminated environment and environs of our cities.
Okay.
So
Now,
basic
in the olden days, tuberculosis was
sanatorium.
treated by sending them to a sanatorium. Or
Yes.
where was the sanatorium? Generally, Ooty and those kind of places.
Outskirts,
Exactly.
not in the city. Yeah. See, that is where the more energy, more prana energy will be there. The
Correct.
growing recognition of the importance of vitamin therapy in the treatment of various diseases is another indication of man's growing awareness of the vital forces in nature and
And
the
the
part
part,
that
correct.
and the part they play in restoring health. Science now recognizes that vitamins and their synergies are essential to the normal physiological processes of the body, and that a total lack of single vitamin in the diet, say vitamin C or one of the B complex, can eventually result in the death of the organism. If we consider this in the light of what has already been written, it is evident that vitamins, as the name suggests, do in fact supply pranic vitality to the vital or etheric body. In
Correct.
some quarters, it is strongly upheld that man obtains enough of the vitamins he needs from his everyday diet, and perhaps in the past he was able to do so. Today, however, with an increasing array of devitalized food on the market, many of which are saturated with preservatives and other toxins that have an insidious effect in undermining health, and the fact that modern man lives under tremendous economic and psychological pressures, the role of vitamins in supplementing the diet needs careful consideration on the part of radionic practitioner.
Correct.
Another point, so basically he is saying, if we do not eat proper diet also, you should take vitamins. Another point of consideration relative to prana is the fact that in recent years, the practice of yoga has become popular in the Occident, and people are doing breathing exercises designed to increase their intake of prana. These exercises, known as pranayama, are aimed at cleansing the body of impurities and filling it with pranic currents, thus increasing vitality and instilling a feeling of well being. It should be pointed out, however, that many of these exercises, if practiced with diligence, can be very dangerous to Western man and may bring about overstimulation of the etheric body with subsequent psychic and physiological disturbances if they don't do properly.
Hmm.
Consequently, the type of patient who asks a radionic practitioner for help will be one who is familiar with such exercises and may in fact practice them. For this reason, it should be kept in mind that pranayama incorrectly practiced may be the root cause of etheric dysfunction. Patanjali, the Indian philosopher, lists 5 differentiations of prana in the human body. The healing rates of these pranic forces are very useful to the practitioner who consciously works on the etheric levels, and they may be directed through the appropriate chakras to the areas concerned. The list is as follows: prana, extending from the nose to the heart and having special relation to the mouth and speech, the heart and lungs. Samana, which extends from the heart to the solar plexus. It concerns food and the nourishing of the body through the medium of food and drink and has a special relation to the stomach. Apana, which controls from the solar plexus to the soles of the feet. It concerns the organs of elimination, of rejection, and of birth, thus having special relation to the organs of regeneration and elimination. Upana, which is found between the nose and the top of the head and has a special relation to the brain, the nose, and the eyes. Vyana, which is the term applied to the sum total of prana in the human body. Isn't it Vyana is the through the nerves, nadis, it gives
Through the
energy.
entire body, it impacts the entire body.
Yeah.
It is and now what is connected through the entire body? It is the circulatory system and the nerves.
Yeah.
Right.
So Vyana,
Perfect.
yeah, goes through the energy, passes through the nadis energy. The implications inherent in these differentiations of prana and radionic therapeutic measures are self-evident. For example, in cases of hay fever or chronic sinus trouble, treatment of the Agnya chakra with upana and the required color is going to be significantly useful. The rate of samana directed via the solar plexus chakra will help a patient to absorb nutrients more fully, and the rate for apana directly by way of sacral chakra may provide most useful in treating a patient during childbirth as supplementary to regular medical care.
Hmm.
Certain manifestations of prana may be observed directly by the human eye. Atoms that have become heavily charged with prana manifest as brilliant white dots of light that dart and spin through the atmosphere. It is especially easy to see them on a clear sunny day against a blue sky by simply focusing the eyes at a distance of about 6 feet and observing them moving through the intervening space in a silent erratic dance. So these are the prana atoms. The
You can
esoteric,
see that even when a ray is coming, you can see those dancing particles.
when
Yeah.
you are standing against the sun and observe the sun rays.
Yeah,
The
I saw them
esoteric,
so many times. Yeah.
Yeah.
the esotericist gives to this energy dot the name of vitality globule. Such particles of matter are being continually taken up by the etheric body so that they can play their role in vitalizing it. Dr. Wilhelm Reich, who did much experimentation with the pranic energies or argon energy, as he preferred to call it, came to the same conclusion as the Indian sages. He said, in effect, that there was a primordial, universally present energy, and that this energy penetrated and permeated everything, manifesting in the living creature as biological energy and in the universe as the origin of galactic systems, matter and moment. So this is everywhere, moving and unmoving.
Hmm.
Chala.
Chala,
Pranas and
yes.
chala
The
and achala.
human body.
Pranas and the human body.
Sorry.
Upana is the top, from nose to the top of the head. Prana is from the heart to the nose. Samana. Oh, this is very good. Apana. Vyana. Okay, Vyana overall the body.
Correct.
Okay. He further stated that the earth, people, animals, and plants are all surrounded by individual organ envelopes, which can be seen quite clearly and distinct from the surrounding organ ocean. This is the field that we refer to as the health aura, the coarsest of visible vibrations surrounding the human form. Rick's description of the argon dot as flickering, spinning, and darting expression of the universal energy tallies exactly with the vitality globule of esoteric literature. Having briefly sketched in a description of the pranic forces and their role in vitalizing the human form, we can now consider the way in which prana is taken into the etheric body. Vitality of the patient is always of concern to the radionic practitioner, for he recognizes that the body's
Ability.
ability to restore normal function depends in great part upon the vitality levels of the various systems. The spleen chakra, which is that center of force so closely related to the vitality, is not a major spinal chakra. Its role is to supply vital energy to all the chakras on all levels of the personality or lower self. So, which is the spleen chakra. So, it is not directly related to those energies which sweep man into a state of spirituality by way of major centers. Its role is one of vitalizing the etheric body. So, basically, the spleen chakra provides the energy to vitalize the etheric body.
Correct.
It must be understood that the 7 major chakras appeared during the course of man's early evolution as a response to the impact of 7 major streams of energy that are said to comprise the evolutionary scheme of things in which we live and move and have our being. So that's it. In the evolution process, they are becoming a part of our body. They are not, however, directly related to the process of vitalizing the etheric body with solar and planetary prana. A separate group of chakras are responsible for this function. So he's saying these 7 major chakras are related to solar and planetary prana, isn't it?
No, they are not. Their function is separate.
No, they are not, however, correct.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
they are not, however, directly related to the process of vitalizing the etheric body with the solar and planetary prana. So basically, he is saying these major chakras are the ones which exhibits the aura, not the etheric.
Exactly. Correct.
The receptive apparatus, prana, consists primarily of 3 food centers. The best known one is the spleen chakra. In addition to this, there is another chakra situated just below the diaphragm, and a third lies between the shoulder blades just above the heart chakra. Like the other chakras, they appear as rotating saucer-like depressions in the surface of the etheric body and are linked by a triple thread of energy to form a triangle of force known as the pranic triangle.
Now,
So,
I think these are the ones that are getting stimulated when you do EFT.
Oh,
what is EFT, sir?
visual.
What is the tapping? That tapping therapy.
Okay. So
Oh,
my,
yeah.
my
By
question
tapping, you release the energy.
Correct. EFT is an acronym for electron. Come on, yeah.
EFT.
It is not ETF.
that's what we do that in the Qigong practice also.
Yeah.
They tap in
EFT.
and
Nowadays, even Saurabh Botra in his meditation, in his yoga, he teaches that.
That is
Yeah, it
Kadam
is emotional freedom techniques. EFT.
Yeah, it releases the emotions from different organs.
Exactly. Whatever is trapped there, it will try to release that. Yeah. Let's continue.
I have a question here, sir. So
Yeah.
the spleen and other chakras could be the minor chakras which are dependent on solar.
Spleen is not your minor chakra. He is calling it spleen chakra here. It is your Swadhisthana.
No, but if it is Savadhishtanam, again he's saying the 7 major chakras are not dependent on solar and planetary prana. But whereas these other chakras he mentioned, including spleen, they are dependent on the solar and planetary prana.
No,
So
he
that's
doesn't
the
say
difference
that.
he's showing, right? Isn't that?
No.
That's where my confusion.
No. See, they are not directly related to the process of vitalizing the etheric body with solar and planetary prana.
Yeah, but those are the 7 major ones which we normally use.
Correct. These are minor chakras, the other ones. Spleen
Yes,
chakra in association with minor chakra. Spleen is your sacral chakra, which is the main chakra, no?
Okay, so the minor chakras are dependent on the solar prana.
Correct.
Okay, that's want to confirm that.
Prana enters the body through vital force.
Wait,
So
Ramakrishna has got. Wait a minute,
question.
Ramakrishna has a question.
Yeah, in the previous page, I wanted to ask this question. Now, the controlling the prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. Is there any practice within
It is
our
there in
group?
pranayama. Your Bastrikasana controls your diaphragm and the lower this one. That way you got.
We can direct prana through like mudras.
No, mudras and there are asanas also.
Yeah.
Pranayama practices.
While doing pranayama, we like
Yeah.
have mudras, combination mudra and pranayama. That is, you're right, sir.
They are there, sir. Exercises are there.
Okay.
So
No, but he's
mudras
talking
can be
about space.
ETF tapping. We can consider that as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ETF tapping is mainly to
It is
release
only
the
for emotions.
Yes, that's
emotional
Pent up
energy.
emotional energy.
mudras also we're touching these finger points, which represent
Yeah,
these
yeah.
five panchbhutas. So indirectly
Mudra
related.
No,
and
the tapping points are all the minor chakra points. Acupressure is all the minor chakra points.
Yes. Yeah.
And Ramakrishna sir, you have question, right, to follow this
No. Yeah.
yoga techniques. And Hanuman Temple has a, I think, YouTube, like Facebook. On Facebook, they like every day they practice this type of
But
India
what I
yoga.
would suggest is, why don't you reach out to our yoga sir?
Oh, okay.
He will guide you.
Okay. Sure.
And for mudras, reach out to our
Chandra
Chandana.
Shetty, ma'am.
Chandra Shetty.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
But Chandra Shetty's mudras are different, right?
They don't matter. All mudras do the same way.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Sir,
Okay.
mudra is activating your energy, right?
Sir,
When you are in
now, no, it is the same. That's what I'm trying to say. Everything ultimately activates and revitalizes only the energy.
right.
You can direct
Each
energy.
one, it is like functional loyalty, sir. In an organization, if I represent sales, I am the best guy because I am keeping you alive. I am loyal to my function of sales. If someone is doing the thinking, the R&D, he will say R&D is the best department to be. Right? That way, all these are various forms of the same thing. Improvisation of the original pattern. Yeah. Let's continue.
Yep.
Prana enters the etheric body through the minor force centers found throughout the upper part of the torso. It is then drawn down to the spleen chakra and enters to circulate through the triangle formed by the three chakras. So these three chakras are top he mentioned above the diaphragm, the spleen
Think
chakra.
about it this
Other-
way. Also think about it one more way. Take Bob Proctor's representation. He has got your thought energy, conscious and subconscious. When it comes to the subconscious, it is converting it into energy that will activate the body, which will vibrate the body. Right? The physical body needs to get it in the form of vibrations only. Now, what vibrations that trigger the action? What are those vibrations? Are they not emotions?
Yeah.
Are they not emotions? If you are not emotionally reacting, will you act? Just think. If you are not emoting, if your energy is not in motion, will you act?
No, we don't.
You will
No,
not.
no. Emotion is also energy.
No, emotion is what? Energy in motion is an emotion, sir.
And we implement after that.
Exactly. That is the action part of it.
Yes. Step 1, step 2.
Yeah, correct. Right. So, when you read this, just keep that in mind. You have got the thought process. That energy is then converting it into, now, who converts it into the emotion? Which chakra is emotion? At least those who are part of the spiritual tablet should answer this question.
Solar.
Which?
Solar.
Huh?
Swadhisthana.
Solar.
Is it
Swadhisthana.
not Swadhisthana? Is not your emotion related to water element?
Yes.
क्या यार fundamentals में सोचो ना.
I told you, sir, Swadhisthana already.
Yeah, no. See, there are so many. No, everyone is not saying. Only one or two are saying. Are you not able to feel that? Only that emotion will then translate into action. That energy will then create based on the 3 Newton's laws of emotion. Right? Yeah, let's go ahead. Prana,
Let me.
body,
Yeah, I will
etheric
read.
body. Yeah.
Prana enters the etheric body through minor 4 centers found throughout the upper part of the torso. It is then drawn down to the spleen chakra and enters enters to circulate through the triangle formed by the 3 chakras. Before being discharged from the spleen center to vitalize the etheric body, the prana is subjected to a process that regulates its potency. If the organism is
now, ma'am, let's bring in a little bit of what we understand from thinking and destiny. Where does your desire get triggered?
adrenals.
Where is it?
Oh, near
It is your
Swadhisthana.
kidneys. Correct.
Yeah.
It is in that segment.
Yeah, on the top of the kidneys, adrenals.
Correct.
Correct.
Right. Now, that is nothing but your etheric body is your emotional body. The astral body is your emotional body, which is in the psychic plane. And that part in the psychic plane is this one, this Sthana chakra. Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah.
If the organism is a healthy one, the vibratory rate will be stepped up. If the health of the individual is poor, then the rate of potency will be stepped down so that the vitalizing effect of the prana will not disturb the etheric body. Assimilation takes place after the prana has been circulated through the triangle of force set up by the 3 pranic chakras. It permeates the etheric web and creates a state of vitality in accordance with the ability of the organism to receive prana. So that triangle is in the chest, in center of the chest.
Correct.
So assimilation, he says assimilation takes place after the prana has been circulated through the triangle force set up by the 3 pranic chakras. It permeates the etheric web and creates a state of vitality in accordance with the ability of the organism to receive prana. Thus, the ends of the physical body and the etheric vehicle are maintained in one cohesive unit and will remain so until the silver cord is loosed and contact with the etheric body is broken, resulting in death and finally disintegration of the earthly vehicle.
Perfect. Right? Any question here?
I'm good, sir.
Okay. चलो आगे बढ़ो.
From the orthodox point of view, the distinctive function of the spleen remains unknown. To the student of the subtle anatomy, it provides an interesting correspondence to the placenta and the umbilical cord, which connects the fetus to the mother for nutritional purposes. This cord, as we well know, is cut when the birth of the child is complete. Similarly, the etheric silver cord is cut when the physical and etheric bodies are separated at death, and the inner man is born in full consciousness into the world of a higher and more subtle dimension. Oh, this is a good sentence. And see, when it is separated at the death, the inner man is born in full consciousness into the world of higher realms and subtle dimension. In assessing the vitality index of a patient, the radionic practitioner must determine whether pranic energies are being received, assimilated, and distributed properly by way of the spleen chakra. The other two centers in this pranic triangle should also receive attention, particularly the one between the shoulder blades, as it profoundly affects the distortion of subluxations of the dorsal spine, tensions in the upper and mid dorsal musculature, and general poor posture. All of these factors disturb pranic circulation and utilization, and ultimately leads to a state of fatigue. So that means it is not going in and is not distributing properly. It
Correct.
is significant that Dr. Abrams almost always percussed the spinous process of the seventh cervical vertebra in order to dilate the spleen. He fixed this dilation by percussing the spinous of the second dorsal vertebra. I don't know what is this spinous. Then he was ready to begin radionic treatment of his patient.
Okay,
So,
one second. Let us find out what this is.
yeah.
Could it be like to sit like the back straight, the spine?
See, let us understand what he is saying. The bony projection extended backward from the vertebral arc, T2.
T2. Spinous process. Okay.
T2 is the thoracic, right?
Yeah. Here.
T2 is here.
T12.
No, this is 12. T1.
Yeah,
T2 is, it is
Somewhere here.
just the shoulder blade one. The shoulder
See
blade
here
one.
T1. And here he shows T1. Underneath the T1 is T2.
Correct.
So the second thoracic vertebrae.
Correct.
So C1 to C7 cervical.
The spinous process is the single posteriorly projecting process located at the posterior part of the vertebral arc of a thoracic vertebrae. What is that? That picture.
Arch. It forms an arch.
This is it.
I think that is probably the second one here.
Correct. This is the first one. This becomes the second one. The shoulder blade one.
I think from the T2 the rib starts.
Correct.
Rib around the heart and lungs, it starts. That is the first one. First rib.
The first one, this is the shoulder blade, sir. This is all the shoulder blade, yeah.
Oh, okay.
इसके नीचे आएगा. Thoracic is after this.
After T2?
Correct.
Okay.
So ये देखिए. ये हो गया आपका T2, शोल्डर ब्लेड के नीचे.
सर पिक्चर मुझे नहीं दिखाई दे रहा. Okay. I have to move it. No.
Why you are not able to see it?
I can see.
The blue dot.
No, this one. Yeah, that blue dot, exactly.
Yeah, I can see now. Yes.
So that's where the shoulders get connected.
Correct.
That is connected with the collar bone, correct?
Correct. ये हो गया ना, ये वाला. इसके बाद में कॉलर बोन के नीचे से.
अच्छा.
So we'll stop here.
Yeah.
Or do you want to continue to the pranic triangle?
How
big
much is
this
there?
pranic? Okay, that's
It's a
not
diagram.
much. We can complete.
Okay. Let's finish this particular pranic.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, the pranic triangle. Okay, let's go. Let's see this what he explained. Pranic triangle.
This
So
is the pranic
basically,
triangle.
from the shoulder blades, so at the end of the diaphragm.
Correct. This is the diaphragm. This is the lungs. So let us read this.
Abram said that dilating the spleen, toxic factors and the miasmic poisons were drawn into the spleen. Localizing them in this manner, he was able to clear them from the patient in short order by painting the necessary medicine over the spleen and applying the treatment pads to the area. He got an additional response. Although Abrams had a sound physiological basis for percussing the spinous processes of the cervical and dorsal vertebra, the center therapist would tend to see a deeper implication in his action, namely that by dilating the spleen, he was in effect stimulating the action of the spleen or in action of the spleen chakra for a short period, and that this carried the subtle energies of the remedy painting on the body throughout the etheric vehicle and in fact to all the major spinal centers. So basically by stimulating the spleen chakra, okay, so they're able to get all these and that this carried the subtle energies to the remedy painted on the body throughout the etheric vehicle and in fact to all the major spinal centers. Naturally, this would have a profound healing effect upon the body. If, as radionic practitioners, we understand the nature of vitalization of the human form by solar energies, we are going to be in a better position to help our patients. Sir Thomas Browne once wrote, "Life is a pure flame and we live by an invisible sun within us." This thought may be interpreted in various ways according to the level about which you are speaking, but on the physical etheric, it certainly refers to the spleen and its action of receiving the pranic forces from the sun. See, some people say a sun, another sun is inside the heart in some books. So here he says spleen is the one who receives the solar energy directly
Exactly.
into the body.